6? 5 or 6. Okay. All right. So, when we do this one, right, again, I'm not going to take us through the toolbox of step by step anymore. We've done, I think this is our 5th example, maybe our 4th example. But you have an awareness here. Here is a fraction. So we're not, anything that talks about factoring, we're not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Here's fraction, fraction, fractions. Do we have 2 fractions? No, we don't. Okay? Does our fraction have a binomial in the numerator? No. Okay. Multiply a binomial in a fraction. I don't have a binomial in my fraction. Manipulate and substitute Pythagorean identities for squared terms. There are no squared terms. So the only tool that makes sense to use right off the bat is to write everything in its sine or cosine form. Cosine, I hate to be obvious here, cosine is in its cosine form. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. But cotangent can be something else. Cotangent is cosine theta over sine theta. That is the cosine slash sine form of cotangent. Okay? Now we call this a fraction sandwich. Okay? We have shortcuts for fraction sandwiches. We've talked about this before. But if you don't remember the shortcuts or you don't want to use the shortcuts, this is the same as, and I'm gonna draw how we can do it here. You know, we have the big fraction bar here. So we have cosine theta divided by this. But cosine theta is really cosine theta over 1. Right? I mean, if this is a fraction, I can make this a fraction by just putting a 1 underneath it. So really this problem is this. Cosine over 1 all over cosine theta over sine theta. Now I have 2 fractions in a fraction. How many times have you guys seen me do this? Okay? Do you know what's coming next? If you've watched all the videos and paid attention in class, you should know what's coming next. A fraction divided by a fraction. What am I going to do? Flip and multiply. Take the bottom, flip it over, multiply. That's how we divide fractions. So this is going to become cosine theta over 1 times sine theta over cosine theta. And when we multiply fractions, we can cross cancel. So we can, oh, this thing is so sensitive. We can cancel on the diagonal here because the cosines are the same. And now when we multiply across, we have sine theta over 1, which is just sine theta. Now, the shortcut for our fraction sandwiches, as we've covered in the past, when the denominator is a fraction, right? A fraction sandwich, a triple-decker fraction, if you will. When the denominator is a fraction, you can take this and multiply it times the top. That's our shortcut for this situation, right? And this isn't the last time this is going to happen. This is going to happen a lot more often, okay? So if you want to use these shortcuts, you can. So what this becomes is sine theta cosine theta over this cosine theta stays in the bottom, right? And then we can cancel those cosines. Hello? And if we cancel those cosines, you can just set it right there. What's left?
What's it anyway?
Don't sit where there's a black X. All right? So we get sine theta as our final answer. Either way. This is the long drawn out way. This is using that fraction sandwich shortcut.